Hello everyone, welcome back to Lab4crypto. Sorry for not making the video sooner, but I was a speaker in an event in Dubai, so I couldn't make the video there. I didn't have my equipment with me. So as soon as I landed, I decided to make the video. The event was really nice. I met with industry leaders, and that is a video that I will make in the next couple of weeks. But let's focus on what's happening in the market now. I also just wrote a blog about it, which I encourage you to read, which is some of my thoughts there. But I will go a little bit deeper in the video and explain what is happening and what I think is going to happen into the market. February was brutal. Until now, it's almost 16% down. And usually post-halving, February's are really good for the market. If you check, for example, in 2021, we had a 35% gain. In 2017, we had 20.34, and you get the memo. Unfortunately, because February was full with news that the market, it's really difficult to price in because you don't know exactly what is going to happen. President of the US started to induce tariffs to Europe, China, Canada, basically everywhere. And for the market, it's really difficult to price in these events. But it seems to me that the goal is that, as many times the president said, he wants lower interest rates. And a way to force the Fed to start cutting sooner and stop the QT as soon as possible is to create a panic in the stock market, which I don't know, for some reason I believe this is the goal of the president, but of course I don't know. But it seems that with all the good news that are coming to the market now, which are shadowed by the bad ones, and I'm talking about, excuse me, and I'm talking about the drop of the most famous SEC cases for crypto companies. They dropped the case for Coinbase, they dropped it for Uniswap, they dropped it for Robinhood, and so on. And it seems that the goal is to bring regulatory clarity to the crypto market. This is what we want. But do not forget, because the crypto market is small, any adjustments, let's say in the macroeconomic outlook, it will be shown in the crypto market first because it's one of the most liquid markets. It's trading 24/7, and definitely it's adding to the uncertainty into the market. And until the market understands exactly where we are going, I expect this chop around, and hopefully the 80K region was close to the bottom, which I think we are close, but it's remained to be seen if any fight is going to happen again between the president and some other country, which we don't know. Our goal, though, as people which are interested in the market and we want to allocate capital, is we cannot be in the mind of someone which can have this power to move the markets, but is to zoom out and check in the macro where the market is going, if it has potential. And if it has potential, it will not matter if you got it 5K up or down. Your goal, though, is to protect your capital, move in steps. Do not go, in my opinion, risk on to various altcoins yet. Stay on BTC. This is an article that I wrote last week and also have a video on it. But let's stick to the Bitcoin now and find out if actually the top was already behind us, because in the end, a lot of people think that the top was in December and now we have entered a bear market. Spoiler alert, I don't think that this is the case, but let's see some numbers and understand what is happening. As I said already, the market is pricing in the next rate cut to be in June and not November, that it was 2 days ago, actually. Therefore, already the date of the interest rates is moved closer to the QT, because at the Fed's minutes report, which I will have a link also in the description below, the Fed said that they are planning to stop the QT in mid-year. So let's say June, for example. These moves, these volatile moves from the stock market as well, because do not be mistaken, these drops is not only in the crypto market. For example, already the Tesla stock is 30% down in this couple of months. So big hit there as well. But in the end, if that is not the top, that means this, what we see now, it's opportunities. And for us to understand if this is the case, for me, it helps me to check the data and understand where we are. So first, this 24% drawdown that Bitcoin had is something out of the ordinary. It's something that we saw before. And if we check the price drawdown from all-time high, you will see that we are at, because this is the daily closes, we are at, let's say, 20.8%. Of course, there are weeks which can take us to bigger drops. But this graph is helping us understand, for example, let's check the previous cycle. We had, during the bull run, we had a drawdown of, let's zoom, a drawdown of 25%, of 18, of 23, of 81, of 16, of 22, and even in the summer, we had a drop down of 53%, and then we managed to go to a new all-time high. So even if we check the previous cycles than the last one, you will see that this is something that is happening a lot. For example, in 2017, when Bitcoin moved from $100 all the way up to 19K, if I'm not mistaken, 19.6, you will see that it had one drop down of 18.8, another one of 27, another one of 35, another one of 25, and so on. So because the crypto market is small, as I said, we are expecting to see these drawdowns, although this time was not because the market was overextended, I think. It was because of the news. And as I said, we have many things coming to us. We have the dollar dropping. We have the US 10-year treasury bills dropping as well. The market is in a mess now because we cannot price in exactly what is going to happen with monetary and politically adjustments that are happening now into the market. But let's first just check the data only now to understand where we are and remove the news part from the equation. Let's go back to the blog. Sorry. Yes. So now, as I said many times, one of the best equations that we have for Bitcoin and the total crypto market cap is that they follow a power law equation. What that is telling us, in short, it helps us understand if the price of Bitcoin, the blue line, basically is overextended from the red line, which the red line is the fair value of Bitcoin. So you will see that now we are just below it. But if we check this equation, this graph, which is the deviation from the power law, it helps us better understand what value we need to go to start feeling a bit worried that we have reached a top. And usually this value, as you will see, the red line, which is the y-axis on the right, we usually reach values above 70% to starting to feeling a bit worried that this is the top. If I go to the blog, just a moment, yes. I draw the line here so it'll be easier. So when we touch this orange line, that means that we can be close to the top. And if you want to be more prudent, you can start preparing your exit strategy when we are at 60%, for example. But the maximum value that we got this cycle was only 21%, which it's far less what is expected. And even with diminishing returns, for me, seems very unlikely that this was the top. Also, if we move to the next equation, which is the total crypto market cap, this is the equation which also is measuring the deviation of the blue line from the red line, which is the fair value of the crypto market. We only managed to touch it in March and in December, which that basically is telling us that the total crypto market is undervalued. And that makes sense because we saw a lot of altcoins and even main ones to not even approaching their previous all-time highs. And I still think that we're going to have an altcoin season. Of course, not all coins like the last time because we have like 5 million coins. No, even, I think it's even 10 million new coins that we have now, which of course, most of them are pump and dumps, and you need to be really selective with your altcoins. And of course, based on this equation, again, if we go to the blog, you will see that we are far below the orange line. And even if we start preparing our plan on 60% deviation, we are now, let's see which value we are now. We are minus 51% below. For me, it's extremely, let's say, difficult to say that that the top was already behind us because I did not see it in the data. Another metric from Onchain perspective is the free float market cap to realized value, so the FFMVRV. This model basically is calculating the market cap of coins, and it excludes the coins that have not moved for more than 5 years because let's say these people are unlikely to do a move now because they are long-term investors and are not people that are going to exit in the market fast, like institutions, like, for example, MicroStrategy, let's say, and so on. So based on this equation, what we can see is that usually to start preparing for a top, we see values greater than 2.26, and in the previous cycle, which let's say is the one that is more close to the one now, because if we account for diminishing returns, we always expect this value to go a bit less than the one that was in the previous cycle. So imagine the first top of Bitcoin, the FFMVRV value was 3.09, and the second one, which was only for BTC, for people that they were in the previous run, we had Bitcoin again dropping 50% in the summer and moving to a new all-time high in November. And the value that we got there was 2.26, let's say. Today, we are at value of 1.35. And on the top of the market, we reach values of 1.89. So it's far below on what was observed in the previous cycles. And I don't think even with diminishing returns, we will get to FFMVRV values below 2 to start preparing the exit plan. So the top. Moving forward, the next one is the net unrealized profit and loss, which again, we are checking the unrealized profit and loss from on-chain perspective, and we see that usually starting to worrying that this is the top and therefore it's better for us to start exiting the market. We have values greater than 0.75 was in February 2021, the previous cycle, and the second peak was, let's go to the second peak. We saw values of 0.66. This cycle, we only managed to go to values of 0.63. So again, we are below on what we are expecting. Now, of course, you will find, let's go to the profit and loss, and you will see that usually in these drawdowns, we are having the supply and loss to be moving to higher values. So now we are at 21.72 and the supply and profit is at 78.28. The good news when you have a supply and profit to be decreasing is that the supply and loss is increasing and therefore the selling pressure is reducing. And usually we have people that, because the short-term cost basis of people that they have acquired BTC is at around 90K. So as we move below the 90K mark, that means people are starting to be in a loss, and therefore it's less likely they are going to induce selling pressure into the market. However, of course, some people, if we continue to go down, they're going to say, get me out of the market. I don't want to participate anymore. And they're going to take the losses. And usually that is signaling a new all-time high, because we have the people that do not have conviction and they do not know in which state of the market we are. They induce this max pain for a short period of time to the market, and then we move to new all-time highs. For me, I think the catalyst to be at a new all-time high, we need to see a stronger BTC. We need to have some news that are going to bring liquidity into the market. That maybe is going to be the monetary policy, the interest rates, the end of the QT, some news regarding the Bitcoin reserves, even in a state level, not in a whole country. And moving forward, some people, basically, we are focusing on the CME gap. What is the CME gap? The premium is the difference between the futures price of Bitcoin and the spot price. And you will see there was a gap between the 78K to 80K, where we have not filled this gap price-wise. And historically, it seems that Bitcoin is usually filling these gaps. And that is why the 78 to 80K region was crucial for many people. And actually, we have almost filled it. If we go to the graph, you will see that this value is at 78K, and we went to the 78.8. So it was not filled 100%, but it was really close. So that is one of the pains that many people wanted to remove from the market, and that is almost already filled. And there are countless graphs that I can show you and tell you what I wanted on this video. For me, I don't believe that this is the top. I cannot fathom in my head that we are in a period where the QT is about to end. We're going to have a QE. We have, I think, the doji is going to bring an effect into the market. Unfortunately, with the layoffs, we're going to have an increased unemployment rate. We're going to have that reflected to the future numbers of the unemployment rate in the US. The pain that we saw on the stock market, because the president usually gouges his public, how well the public is seeing him from the performance of the markets. And definitely we are not in a good state now. Also, the Fed are seeing the stock market, not the crypto market, because we are small, but because we are correlated with Nasdaq, especially. We are expecting to see the same behavior from Bitcoin, and even faster, because we are moving faster on the upside and also on the downside. For me, 2025 seems to be a good year with amazing potential, and especially for the crypto market, because a lot of people have just came to the market. They don't know how difficult it was for us to say anything about crypto, because there was no regulation. We didn't know what was bad and what was good. Of course, always we're going to have bad actors into the market, and that is why I urge people to stay on BTC and move to altcoins when the time comes, and when we have a clear signal that the altcoin season is here. As I said, an easy way to see that is the altcoin index. We want this red line to go above the purple one to start feeling that the time for the altcoins is here. So focus on the less riskier asset in the crypto market, which is BTC, and dynamically move to altcoins when the time comes. Do not go risk on immediately. Of course, if you have done your research and you are sure you can do whatever you want, this is what I'm doing. And that is why I'm telling you this. And do not panic, because imagine the people that panicked when Bitcoin was 30K, when was 15K, when was 2K before in each cycle. And then we have moved to all-time highs. The markets are dynamic. You need to be focused. You need to understand where we are in the cycle. And as I said, I don't have any evidence to tell you that the bull market is over. Of course, no one knows the future. This is what I see now. And if I see something different, I will come up and tell you what I think again. I hope you liked the video. Please give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. And until next time, bye-bye.